there are different people who rise up, gain popularity, make their marks on history, right? Well, in terms of music. Well, in terms of music, in your heads, I want you to tell me if you know any of these three people. We have Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, and the Beatles. Now, I know every one of you knows at least one, if not all of these people. And each of these people had their own specific time periods that they were popular in, 50s, 60s, 70s, such as. The time period I'm focusing on is the 70s and 90s, where it's like, wait this a minute. So, let's take that. Okay. So, let's take that. Why are these genres so popular now? Why wasn't it embraced before? Why wasn't it embraced after? Well, we have to look at the events happening around them. So around the 70s and 90s, we have a couple things happening. We have the Vietnam War. And then we also have the death of a radical leader, Martin Luther King Jr. Poverty is also evidence in the United States. And last but not least, America had an anti-communist mindset. Now, all of these really influence what is happening around them, and so the younger generation of these people, the younger generation growing up in this period, they really had a response to this. They wanted a me generation, and they embraced anything that was different or something that was conforming. They wanted something different, and so this led to the rise of jazz fusion. Now, a radical person in this jazz fusion movement is my American artist, Herbie Hancock. Now, a little bit of background information. Herbie Hancock is 73 years old. Yes, he's still alive. He was born in Chicago. He did most of his time in the East Coast. If not, he's traveling around the world. He's actually very popular in Japan. So, now a little rundown. What is jazz fusion is probably what you're wondering. I broke up jazz fusion to be three parts. One of them, the first one being Latin jazz. Now, Latin jazz, the main focus, influence of Latin jazz is the syncopated rhythms. And the syncopated rhythms, can you click outside of the video? Oh, okay. All right, syncopated rhythms are short, long, short kind of rhythms. So it wasn't on the beat all the time. The next one is rock and roll music. Now, rock and roll music was very popular amongst the teenagers, which is probably what the teenagers want. They want individuality because of at the time. They also brought up electric instruments, which is probably what he took out from the rock and roll genre. It also sparked up music, like a dance style, like the jitterbug and all of that. And then last but not least, we have pop music. Pop music was the most widely appreciated, or not widely appreciated, everybody liked it pretty much. And it also had focused melodies and catchy rhythms and stuff of the sort. So that's why they would repeat it multiple times. Now this is Herbie Hancock's more famous songs, Chameleon. And see, that was the melody, and she's going to repeat it about 4 or 5 times. You should, if it's catchy, you can memorize it a couple times. We also have his electric instruments. We have his electric piano. We also have the electric guitar and bass. And we also, in syncopated rhythm, you can tell short, long, short. See? Short, long, short kind of rhythms from the influence of Latin jazz. That my artist is really known for is music synthesizers. Now, it was a combination of jazz, rock, and pop music. Now, when you think of jazz music, you don't think of electric instruments. You think of piano, saxophone, trumpet, the acoustic instruments. But because he combined these, it made it different, which made the teenagers really like it because it's different from the traditional. Now, this is one of the most synthesizer-based songs called Sound System. And you can see all of the instruments here are electric, pianos are all electric, and we have the even the drum set is electric. It's not, and nothing is acoustic. And I think this is one of his songs that are just heavily synthesized. people, they were dancing to it. All of the genres that I told you that's influenced jazz fusion are dance oriented, so you can like move